everyone. Keith, New England Whiskey, joined by my good buddy Austin, Moon's Tavern, here with another episode of Neat Conversation, your unscripted YouTube channel where we just make happy accidents. We do a little painting, we have a little fun, we do some discovering. Our intro changes every week. The way Austin makes fun of me changes every week, but I make fun of him because he's always rendivinous. Well, we said we were going to be discovering something today, and I'm being a little playful and colorful, if you will, with my play on words. And I know we don't have the same batches, but we were going to talk some Bardstown Bourbon Co. They're all over the news right now with their new cathedral release, but I think we're going to do some Discovery series.
Heck yeah. So which one do you have?
In my hand, I got the batch 5, so I'm going a bit older. Don't ask me why this bottle is as full as it is. I don't know. I think I just keep getting things from Bardstown, and I keep just drinking all of those down faster than I go back to some of these. So
I got you. Yeah, I'm trying to debate which Bardstown I want to do.
You act like you aren't going to pour both anyway.
Well, I got a whole table full of Bardstown here because I don't know. I can't make decisions because they're all of these are pretty daggone good. You know what? I'm going to go with the Bardstown 12. Why not?
All right.
Why not? We'll start off with that, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. So the one thing I do love about the Bardstown bottles, and truthfully, I don't know how well on camera it's going to come out, but right here on your side label, they give you a really good description. One of the things I love about them is they are extremely transparent in what you're drinking. So for this one, it tells me right there that I got 31% Kentucky, 13-year, 25% Tennessee, 17-year, 25% Kentucky, 7-year, and 19% Kentucky. And then it goes over the mash bills of all 4 of those bottles for me. So, you don't see a lot of people and a lot of distilleries be as transparent as that. And all of them have it, which I think is a really cool and unique feature that sets Bardstown a little bit apart in that regard.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's really cool because then, just like what we were doing, I mean, if you had it recorded, I'm sitting here trying to figure out which distilleries this one is from, because I knew that one had, a majority of all the distilleries that I absolutely love. So in the 12, what we looked up was that it's actually Wild Turkey, Heaven Hill, and Jim Beam based on their mash bills that comes up. But on this one, mine's 48% Kentucky 14-year, 29% Kentucky 10-year, 15% Kentucky 10-year, and then 8% of Bardstown 6-year. Which the Bardstown one is the weeded, their weeded version. So yeah, no, that's cool. I've gotten into this one. I've probably drank the 11 of recent, probably a little more, and I don't know why that is, but yeah. I'm excited to get into it and see what's up.
Well, the 11 and 12 definitely generated a lot of hype from Bardstown. I believe the Bardstown 12 was pushing in my top 5 to 10 bottles from 2024 there. So I definitely have some love for that Disco 12. And the good news is, Austin, I made sure to brush my teeth early today so that I wouldn't be just getting nothing but mint on my tasting notes like usual.
No, this is really good, man.
So what are you getting out of it? What makes this the batch that you decided to pour today?
Well, like I said, it's got 3 of my favorite distilleries in it, as far as Wild Turkey, Beam, and Heaven Hill. But yeah, I mean, you get I got a little bit of cherry, little cherry on the nose, obviously the caramel, brown sugar, all that stuff that we always get. Little bacon spice.
So you talked about the Beam being in there, and we talked about that Beam having that nuttiness to it. Do you get that coming through on this, knowing that there's
not
Beam
on the
in there,
nose?
or?
Not on the nose, but on the taste, yeah. It's kind of cool because it's like a... How can I...
What candy bar are you going to reference this time?
Yeah, I'm a fat guy, so I got to rent to some kind of candy bar. I mean, I can't leave it alone.
I just wanted to establish I knew you were going candy bar, so.
God, that's good, man. Yeah, I don't know if I can. It doesn't really. It doesn't go the candy bar route for me on this one. Definitely. I mean, I'm getting a lot of cherry, a little bit of. It's almost like a chocolate covered cherry with nuts on top of it, like peanuts.
Okay. So it'd be like if you took a chocolate covered cherry and dipped it in some nuts and just added that and mixed it on in there.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it kind of tastes like. And it's not like a milk chocolate though. It's more of a darker chocolate. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, good God, this is delicious.
Well, I didn't realize that you had 12 because I did pull out 12, so I could be on the same page with you, but I went a little differently than you did, so.
Well, I'll kick this to the side and we can do another one.
Hey, I'm not trying to make you go through your whole bar.
That way,
I want you to save your whole bar until when I come back and visit again.
Since you got your Bardstown glass, I'm gonna get mine too. How about that?
I feel like we gotta theme it. We gotta show off the love for it.
All right, so I'm gonna go to 3, Discovery 3, which this was a 13-year Indiana, 13 Kentucky, and then I can't read. I think that's a 10-year Kentucky. I don't know what distilleries this potentially could be, but I'm sure it's probably some of the ones that we've already talked about.
Well, Miranda, if you're watching this one, you might need to make sure Austin goes to the eye doctor because he's been having a little trouble reading everything today.
She knows. She yells at me all the time. But it's funny.
Just trying to help out.
Hey, I need all the help I can get, brother. That's a fact. Now Discovery 3, usually when I talk to people, because, and I think we've talked about this before, maybe just on a live or something, but I sent you a whole bunch of samples of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I sent you all the way up to 8, maybe, or something like that.
You didn't send me 5 because I already had that one. So
okay.
You definitely skipped 5.
All right, so maybe I sent you all the way up to 8 that I had. I don't think I had 7, but anyway, that's irrelevant. Out of all of them, though, I mean, 3 is really, really good. I mean, I love the first 4, and then it's like the 10 and the 11 and the 12. Oh my God! I mean, they're just all bangers. You can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, I mean, once you sent me the samples, it only took me 4 years to drink them. We can edit that part out. No, for everyone that knows it, it's a running joke between me and Austin. He was graciously enough sent me a bunch of samples, and I feel like sometimes just samples are so hard to go through, and that's not like the samples that you gave me. I have a bunch of samples that I am appreciative of everyone that sent me any, but I find because you're looking at your bar, you're looking at your open bottles. My samples aren't sitting on the shelves;
right.
They're in a different cabinet. Sometimes it's not that I forget that they're there; it's just I don't know what I want to drink. I look at a couple bottles and I say, "Oh, that looks good," and then I'm in that mindset. I do need to try to make a point of going through the samples a little bit more, because there's some distilleries I have of things that I've never tried from brands, and some brands that I've never tried altogether. So I do have to get better about that. I can admit to that.
I agree. I mean, I think it's one of those things that mine's right by my sink, right near my glasses and all that stuff. So, I mean, I see them, but I don't see them. It's usually because I have all this, around me. So I typically look to that first, instead of, because I can't read that small print, then instead of trying to, stress my eyes out on the bottles. So, but yeah, I mean, and I've got some good samples. I got some King of Kentucky and all that stuff I need to get through. But those are things that I'm like, man, I want to wait, share this with someone so it's not just me enjoying it and just, kind of make a fun thing out of it, especially when it's like those really heavily allocated samples that you get from really good friends. You know, you just don't want to hog it to yourself. You're like, I kind of want to share this with somebody else too to, you know, get their opinions on it.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a couple guys that are in the Thieves that, you know, have done really nice things for me, like KY Bourbon Shooter. He sent me a WLW sample once, and that was really nice. So thanks to him for that. I still remember that. So there's definitely good people that share good stuff. But let's get a little off topic of the Bardstown side of things. But we're unscripted anyway, so who cares? You know,
That's right.
We go wherever we want to go.
Yeah, I mean, brother, I'm disappointed in myself that I don't drink this more often. I mean, my Bardstown 3, like I said, I don't have that much left in it. As you see, it's almost there. And unfortunately, when that's gone, that's going to be gone. I still have a pretty full one of the 1 and 2. Jerry hooked me up with a bottle of the 2 after I finished mine, and he just like, you know, it just sits here, man. I haven't really messed with it. You can have it if you want it. And I was like, heck yeah, I want that. But yeah, I mean, they're like I said, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I jumped to 11 and 12. But all those, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, those are typically all the Kentucky blends. Obviously, one of them, the 10's got a little bit of, I mean, the 11's got a little bit of Indiana in it, but it's, good God, it's delicious. And Indiana's stepping up their game. You know, obviously all the MGP stuff that's coming out of there, but you got your Hard Truths and your Starlights and all of that. I mean, it's some good whiskey, good bourbon, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, well, I've caught up now, so now I'm going to the 12, but you got a head start, so.
It's good. Damn, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, Bardstown's kind of in the bourbon world right now. They just released at the distillery today a pretty unique bottle. I don't remember all the specifications off the top of my head, which, note to self, if you want to come on a recording and talk about something, write it down, try to remember it, be smart instead of guessing and then being completely wrong.
Right.
But anyway, too late to go back and do that now. But it was released at the distillery today. It was called their Cathedral release. And it's a pretty unique collaboration. And I believe, if I remember it correctly, there's some 300-year-old barrels that they used for aging some of this. So, I mean, you know, 300, it's a little bit older than me, just a wee bit. So the barrels have me beat. I know you might have the barrels beat, but
it's the bourbon that keeps me young, man.
Hey, that's what I hear. Or at least it's a method I'm trying. To be determined if it's successful, but hey, I'm not exactly a scientist, but I'll play one in real life and figure it out.
That's right. Yeah. All right, now I'm back to the.
I'm going to be Keith Nye, the science guy.
There you go.
Keith
Nye.
Keith.
Keith Nye, the science guy.
All right, well, what do you that cathedral, like with using 300-year-old barrels, that's a pretty cool thing. So
hell yeah, it is.
I've seen some people that, you know, got them, maybe, you know, they work with the distillery, so they had them before, and I know a couple people that waited in line. There was a line to get these. Obviously, there's only so many 300-year-old barrels that you can use, so obviously not everyone gets one of those bottles. So that's pretty cool for that. So I'm excited to see, as more people get into it, how that one tastes. But we don't have that, so we can't taste it. So we can taste Disco 12 though, and I'm pretty okay with that too.
That's right.
Yeah. I definitely get that cherry on this. The one thing that I get that you didn't really touch on, and I already know this is a tasting profile to me, so I know it's not kind of that I have a little bit of the 5 in there. But I get a little more orange zest, or orange kind of zest on the back end. I get a little bit more brightness. So I don't really taste a whole lot of that Jim Beam nut, and I didn't know that Beam was one of the 3 distilleries on this blend until you did research before this. I just sat here and laughed at you trying to find it on the computer.
I wasn't going
But
to
I don't
stop
really
until
get
I
a
did.
whole lot of that.
Yeah, definitely wasn't going to stop until I did. See, I'm not getting any orange, but I remember on the 5 I had orange. 5 was
Okay.
the big orange note. So yeah, that might be. I don't know if that's some remnants if you're using the same glass. No.
Yeah, I am using the same glass, but I remember the very first time I tasted the Disco 12 that I was getting that orange feel and that orange brightness to it. So I already knew that I was going to have that today. It's a note that I've gotten every time I drink it, and I still get it here to me. And
Uh,
it's not my toothpaste, like I said. So
I can see a slight. I mean, and it's a ever so slight because you know me, man. I'm not a big orange guy. Anything that's orange that turns me completely off. I'm not a big. It's more like an orange zest, like you say. You know, it's kind
right.
of a funky orange. It's not like a. At least for me, that's the way it is. It's not like a orange slice or an actual orange. It's the zest that's coming off of the peel.
Yeah.
Um,
I would describe it more as an orange, like if you're using orange bitters in an old fashioned, or you're garnishing it with just the peel of the
that's
orange.
fair. Yeah, I
It's
agree
not
with that.
orange juice. It's not that squeeze, but it's that zest.
I agree with that. Completely agree with that.
But I think, like you were talking about, some of the caramel, and I get a little bit of the vanilla too. So I just think kind of that combination might be what's providing that zest or that feel to it to me.
God, that's good, man.
Yeah. I mean, I was getting nervous that I wasn't going to be able to find one of these, because right when they started releasing the 12, Bardstown wasn't in Massachusetts yet. I got the 5 because I was visiting a family member in a state where Bardstown was, and then Bardstown wasn't in Massachusetts. So that's why I go from 5 to 12, because I had nothing in between there as well. So I got that opportunity to get the 12 because it just came out in Mass, and it was pretty heavily allocated because it was brand new to the state. The discovery was pretty limited at the time. Hopefully, continuous releases won't be as difficult to get a hold of. But I was excited that I was able to get this 12.
Yeah, the I can get. It used to be like that where I had to go to Maryland, so I'd have to go to Maryland to get Bardstown 1 through 4, and then I think Virginia picked it up at around the 5 mark. But it just, if it wasn't all Kentucky, I just didn't buy it, man. I tried some of the other ones, and it's one of those ones that because the discoveries are like what, 130, 140 bucks, something like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to take a gamble on something that came from Canada, for 140 bucks, 130 bucks. It just wasn't worth it to me. Now I would pay that for the 1 through 4 and the 11 and 12 all day long. No problem. But the ones that were in there, I bought a couple of them, and I just wasn't jiving with it like I do these. But these are amazing.
Hey, don't knock some Canadian rye, because my buddies at Found North definitely crush it with the Canadian ryes.
I know, but it wasn't
I'm a big
rye.
fan of what they do.
I don't think it was a rye that was in there. I can't remember which one it was. No, I mean, I like Canadian whiskey, but for me, for the price that I had to pay for the Discovery, I just chose to go with the all Kentucky blends.
And the one thing that no one can see is that you actually have a wall of Crown Royal Peach, because it's your favorite Canadian whiskey. So
hey, man, it's
there
double
might be one
XO,
bottle
baby.
of blackberry.
Yeah, double XO. Gotta love it. Don't knock it.
But yeah, I mean, I think they did a great job with. I did get to try the 11, not as a side by side, but my buddy Jonathan has the 11, and I got to try that, and I really like it. I don't remember which one I liked more because I had them at different points in the day after trying different things. So it definitely changes how I felt on them. I liked them both a lot, but I wouldn't be able to pick between the 11 and 12 off the top of my head which one I would have gravitated towards.
Well, let's see. That's the 12. All right. That one's the 12. That's the 11. So I think I might like this one better. maybe.
But you also got that one first, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, actually, these two I think I got at the same time. I got these at the distillery. When I went to the distillery, they had both of them, so I went ahead and grabbed them there.
Oh, that's right, because you were down there a little bit before I came to visit you, right?
Yep. Cool. I can't remember when it was. My short-term memory's gone, so
no memory, unable to
along
read.
with my vision.
Yeah, but hey, at least you can still drink whiskeys, so I think you'll take the trade-off.
Yeah, that's right. Nah, man, that's really good. Yeah, I mean, it's it definitely has everything. It takes you on that journey where it's not like a one-liner, one note. You know, it kind of goes back and forth. And the hug is still pretty good too.
Yeah.
For 115 proof, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think they do a great job. Yeah, the 115.2 on the 12, and that 5 for me was, this one comes in at cast strength, it says. It wants me to do math. 104.7.
Yeah, the 3.
I'm not good at math, so if my math was off, everyone, as Jimmy Buffett once said, math sucks. Trigonometry just don't work my brain. Numbers are too big to be named. There's my Jimmy Buffett quote of the episode. So
there you go. Yeah, the 3 was
actually, I think it's my first Jimmy Buffett quote of any episode, so that needs to change. But
you are a big Jimmy Buffett guy.
I am. I am indeed.
Yeah, so the 3 is 110 proof.
Okay.
But it like I said, all 3 of these I'm not mad at all. Not mad at all. Bardstown did a very good job on these latest releases. Hopefully I can get one of those bottles too that you're talking about. Was that a distillery only release or?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, I guess I won't be getting any of those bottles then. So.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's tough when you're using 300-year-old barrels because it's not like there's a lot of those just sitting around. So.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see the depth of the whiskey of that because the wood plays such a big part of the flavors that the whiskey gets. You had some of those older barrels that you get to taste or older whiskeys that you get to taste, man. It just tastes completely different. Something that might have been only a 6 or 7 year, and it's got the depth of something that feels like it could have been easily a 12 or 14 year, I
mean, I'm not going to talk about this too much, but this is something unique at 24 years that's from an older time period, from a distillery that's had a few changes since then.
Right. Yeah, I mean... yeah, definitely. I mean, one of my first old school bourbons that I got to taste was that Old Granddad 114. Well, I say 114. Yeah, it was 114. Old Granddad 114, and it just the color, the taste, everything was just completely different than what it is, what it was, or what it is now today. But yeah, it's amazing because it looked like something that came out of Garrison Brothers. Just that dark, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm moving on to my next pour of Bardstown, and I'm actually pulling out their Origin series. So it is exactly what it sounds like. It's the Origin. It's their stuff. It's not sourced like we talked about with some of these discos. I got a 6-year one here, 60% corn, 39% rye, and they're going to toss me in a 4% of some malted barley in there. So you can tell I'm kind of a fan of this one because she's going and almost gone, kind of like your Disco 3. So
well, I've had this Disco 3 for a hot minute.
Yeah, a little bit longer than the Origin, but the Origin series, they have this, they have the wheat, they have a rye. I mean, I think they really have done a great job with it. I have a Bardstown koozie coaster I could have brought out too that I just remembered, but I didn't prepare properly. I was too busy worrying about my painting. Me and Bob Ross, we're going on a big painting journey today. So
Painting little trees, little trees. Yeah,
just a
so
little dash over here, little dash over there.
there you go. The Origin series that I got is the weeded one, the 6-year.
Okay.
I can't read what it is. I think it's 53% corn, 39% wheat, and then the rest of it's malted barley. But this one's pretty good. This one actually, so he's a thief now. But Dave was coming through, and he hit me up. And he's like, "Hey man, where exactly do you live?" And I told him, and he's like, "Man, that's right off of 81." I said, "Yeah, it is." He goes, "I'm coming right by there." I said, "Well, come on by, man." So he came by, and he actually dropped that bottle off with me. We had a couple of pours, talked for a couple of hours, then he went back on his way. Nothing too crazy.
You're referring to Old Dominion, right?
Yes.
Old Dominion bourbon.
Yep.
Not to get confused with the great country singing band Old Dominion, but this is Old Dominion bourbon, or the Freight Line Company Old Dominion. So.
Not to be confused. Actually, I think his is with the E too, though. So it's like the old E.
Well, you can't read and I can't spell, so we're gonna have to get like a headset that can proofread for us and then read it out loud back. So
Have to have a translator.
Exactly. At least we speak the same language, the language of bourbon, so we're okay there.
I can read, I just can't see. That's the problem. I usually have some glasses over here, but I don't know where they're at. Someone took them.
Miranda's hiding them because she wants you to go see the eye doctor.
Yeah. Oh, she tells me that all the time because I'll be like, "Hey, read this. What does this say? Read this." Or I'm using my phone to make it larger. That's how you know you're starting to get old.
We're always getting old.
Yeah, this is good.
But we're growing older, but not up. I've got 2 Jimmy Buffett references in, so I'm making up for lost time really quick now.
Yeah, this weed is good, man.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Origin series. I think, like, obviously, like we talked about, Bardstown's super transparent in what they're putting into it. You can look up pretty easily where these bottles and where they're sourcing from and where that's coming. But to come out with your first Origin line, your first distillate, your own stuff, I thought they've done an amazing job with the wheat, the rye, just the bourbon that I'm drinking right now. I mean, I think that's a pretty good introduction to your own Origin line, and they're always doing great collaborations too. So
very cool. Yeah, Bardstown's got so many different options, and the collabs that they do and all that. I mean, you can really get some gems out there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, cool, my man.
Yeah. I felt like we had to wrap it up, with just pouring the Origin and talking a little bit about that, because it's always cool to talk about someone that's got their own distillate. So,
absolutely, and I'm sure that they were really excited to finally start pushing out their own juice too, and not always doing all the collaborations. I'm very excited to see what they will do, once they start getting their 10-year and 13 years and all that, and what that juice is going to taste like. So that'll be really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we found some time to jump on, and I always like having some neat conversations with you. I forgot to throw that into the intro and the tagline, but like I say, it changes every week, so there isn't really a tagline. I was too excited to make a Bob Ross joke that I completely forgot to mention that we have a neat conversation. So I'll wrap with, I felt like this was a neat conversation.
Heck yeah, man. Well, cool, brother. I guess till next time, man.
Till next time. Cheers.
Cheers, bro.